My goal is to try to make sure that I do everything possible to bring women in to corporate boards, to philanthropic opportunities, to fun that will allow them to do everything they can and want to do in the world. The Colorado Forum is a group of 77 CEOs and civic leaders from all over the state. We put together a program for a couple of hours to learn in depth about an issue that we think is important for Colorado. What we find is when we learn together and when we hear the arguments on all sides of an issue, it's pretty easy to come to a mutual conclusion about what's good for the state. The White House Fellowship is a selection of 14 to 16 individuals across the country every year. And you go to Washington, you end up as a special assistant to a cabinet secretary or in the White House itself. They say, don't stay in Washington, which is really tempting because it is such an incredible experience there. But I left kicking and screaming and came back here and was fortunate enough to be admitted as a member of Governor Lamb's cabinet. And that hotel was one of my great prides. Wellington Webb, when he was mayor, asked me if I would chair a small group to try to figure out how to fund a new hotel and then to figure out how to manage it. I loved that experience. I think it was a 7-year commitment, and I wouldn't have traded a day. One of the things that's also been very important to me is to be able to see and participate in corporate boards throughout our community and beyond. One of my very favorites, and I spent 18 years on this board, and I chaired it for 7, is Wellesley College. It's been a really lucky thing for me to be able to be so involved, and now with the National Western, we are working very hard to try to figure out how we can make the National Western the centerpiece of a much bigger venue that will honor our Western heritage. My husband and I have 4 daughters. Whoever thought that would happen? It's important for women, for my daughters, to be able to understand that they're not going to be limited and shouldn't feel at all limited by how the world operates. It's been a wonderful opportunity to pass on a legacy that was passed on to me.